एंशिएंट टाइम्स में सबका फिर से स्वागत है। मैं इब्राहिम आपके साथ। दोस्तों आज हम पहुंचे हैं जयनगर में एक ऐसी शोरूम पर जो पहली मरतबा जो है बेंगलुरु में खुली है। जी हाँ दोस्तों, आज जो ये शोरूम ओपन हुई है ये जो है फर्स्ट टाइम बेंगलुरु के अंदर ओपन हुई है, जिसका नाम OSM है। जी हाँ दोस्तों, OSM जो मतलब ओमेगा सिटी मोबिलिटी, और एक ऐसी शोरूम है जहाँ पर इलेक्ट्रिक्स के बाइक मिलती हैं, इलेक्ट्रिक्स के व्हीकल्स मिलते हैं, इलेक्ट्रिक्स व्हीकल जिसमें आपको 3 व्हीलर है और 4 व्हीलर है। अब सोचने वाली बात यह है कि अलग अलग जो है बेंगलुरु में ख़ासकर जो है इलेक्ट्रिक की गाड़ियाँ जो है आजकल बहुत हो चुके हैं। तो ऐसे पर भी ये जो नया शोरूम जो खुला है और जो कंपनी है, इन्होंने यहाँ पर इस तरह के बाइक्स या इस तरह के व्हीकल्स को क्यों प्रोड्यूस किया है, इसको इनका मकसद क्या है और क्या ये यूज़र फ्रेंडली है, किस तरह से ये लोगों को जो है कस्टमर को हेल्प कर सकती है, इस बारे में तमाम डिटेल्स जो है हम जानेंगे। आज हम इससे बात करेंगे।
I really want to congratulate each and every one of you, and of course thank you so much for inviting me here today for this wonderful occasion. Like Sir said, it is I think green tech and renewable energy is the way to go. I'm very proud to say that I'm in fact an environmental engineer. I have a master's degree in energy management as well. And more than 15, 10, 20 years ago, we've actually been talking about peak oil. We're actually talking about the Paris Agreement. But then it's very important that we actually practice what we preach. In fact, I'm very proud to also say that my first car was an electric car. And I think it's tiny little things like this which is actually going to go a long way, considering our country has a huge amount of population, and we really need to start looking at new, innovative and sustainable ways of mobility. And I really want to congratulate OSM and everybody involved over here. I'm happy to also coordinate with the government to ensure that we are moving towards a greener future. Congratulations once again.
Hi, my name's Jayanagar. I'm the chairman and founder of Omega Seki Mobility. We are one of the fastest growing electric companies in this country. And what's most important, apart from being the fastest growing electric company, is I am a green energy man, green and blue for hydrogen. We are working on multiple products on 2, 3, 4, and then on agriculture products. And a lot of stuff is coming closer to you very soon. Thank you.
What was your objective behind this project?
My main objective, behind getting into electrification was I am most motivated about green energy and sustainability. 31 of the most polluted cities in this world are in our country. I am more caring about your kids and your kids' kids. In India, we are very, very motivated about sending our kids for better education. We want to buy our wives a beautiful diamond ring or a gold necklace, but what we are not worried about is the environment. And so, if we don't care about Mother Earth, we got a big problem. I hope that cities like Bangalore, it's great today, the weather is great, but if you go to Delhi, the AQI index is over 400. This needs to change, and this is what's driving me to make a change.
Considering the facts, as earlier we found that many of the electrical bikes have been burst. So what do you think about it?
Okay, this is a very, very important question, and what's important is, if one life lost, and please hear me out, one life lost is way too many. It could be your mother, it could be your sister, it could be my father, or it could be your best friend. And I think what we have to do is OEMs have to take responsibility, including OSM. And we've been fortunate enough, there has been no issues because we've been very careful. Batteries. The problem with batteries is most people are using cells from China that are B, C, D, E, F quality. In England we say, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Now, if you keep selling vehicles at cheap price and you put an unsafe battery, that's like a time bomb. And I think there are strong laws, and I'm very fortunate to say that the government at the central and the state is now putting up, there's a new policy coming up, AI 156 is coming up, and I think people have used batteries that are not of high quality because the cells are bad. And I think that there needs to be an enforcement. In Europe and America, if you drink and drive, you get arrested. There has to be enforcement. If in this country, you put a bad cell and you put a bad battery and somebody gets hurt, there has to be enforcement. And I think we at OEMs, including OSM, have to take responsibility. And I think the government is doing enough, but they need to do more so that the enforcement of putting batteries which are not of high quality needs to be done. I think you are seeing a big change come up. I think you're going to see a change where OEMs are going to be putting higher quality, better batteries. And I myself is committing, we work with the likes of Log9 and many other bigger players, and I want to announce that today, that we are coming up with battery technology from the United States where the cells are not being for China, and we will make batteries here and much more safer.
Where is it being manufactured?
The batteries?
Yes.
The batteries will be manufactured in the north, but we at Omega has 14 facilities across this country. In OSM has 5 facilities and more are coming up. We are going to be in the north, we are going to be in the south, we're going to be in the west. So we are, see, the point is that the demand is so big that we have to be, and the transportation costs in this country are so high, so you have to be regional. And we're setting up, right now we're in the north, we're in the west, and you'll see us in the south very shortly.
How would you resolve the transportation problem of the transportation?
The key part of transportation is to go local. So you have a hub and a spoke model. The hub will be in areas where we will be in Haryana, in Pune, in Bangalore or Tamil Nadu, and then you have other places where transportation. So we have to have localization. The beautiful part of what I see, Quantum Flux is such a forward-thinking, dealership, and we've got multiple dealerships where we will open with them. I'm really excited to see this new Meals on Wheels, where we sent the vehicle, but the production of the whole unit was done right here in this great city of Bengaluru. This is the model that is going to happen in the future, and we hope that you will see this with OSM, where partners like Quantum Flux all across this country and globally will be working with OSM.
How do you see the EV industry evolving in the next 5 years?
The EV industry has got a super future. And what I'm telling you is that the future, people say the future is electric. I'm telling you, the present is electric. The demand is so high that the industry is not just, we only focus about Amazon or Flipkart or some of the other players. But what we need to make sure is that there is demand coming from the milk guys, from the curd guys. I just got a call from a very large butter producer that wants frost, which is Rage plus 4, which is our cool temperature. So there is demand from all across this country. I will tell you that Europe has said by 2035 all vehicles will be electric. I'm hoping that our country is going to be doing the same. I have seen that 51% of vehicles are already electric in this country in 3-wheelers. In the next 5 years, I see 80% of 3-wheelers electric, 80 plus of 2-wheelers, and I'm hoping, because we are leading in the 4-wheeler market, so there should be in the cargo space 30 to 35%.
How is OSM coping up with the demand with supply?
Excellent question. The key part is supply, because it's like going to a wedding or going to a nikah where the bride is there, and if you don't have the supply, so the groom is not there, so we can't have a wedding. And you're absolutely right. The key part is supply chain. I am spending, see, we at OSM have spent the large part of the last 5 years on supply. Now, I don't know if you know, Omega, the other company which I'm an owner and founder, is the largest steel processor and automotive parts manufacturer in this country. We are producing all the parts.
Are you talking about Omega Healthcare or?
No. Omega Healthcare is my pharmacy, my pharmacy business. But I'm talking about Omega Bright Steel and Omega Components, which is today, the Omega Steel is the largest processor in this country. And in the automotive parts, we have huge history of 50 years. We will be making all the parts internally. The powertrains have been developed in a joint venture with a Korean leader, which will be produced here. The batteries I just told you will be produced here. So our entire supply chain is, before local for vocal, vocal for local, make in India became popular, we were working on indigenization of the entire vehicles. All our vehicles, our 3, 2, 4-wheelers are made in India, are going to be made in India. We believe that the only way forward, and this is something I'm very proud of, we are exporting vehicles. We're the only EV company that is exporting vehicles out of this country, and we believe that in the future, everything we do, even today, as we expand, will be make in India for the global market. Thank you very much.
What is the biggest challenge that the industry is facing?
The biggest challenge is financing. And I was talking to all the leaders at Quantum Flux, is that I am working, there was a problem with financing and I set up my own NBFC. We are working at multiple levels to give financing, because at the end of the day, the vehicles will all go on financing. And I think when we first started the journey, financing was a problem. I'm going to reach out to the leaders of this state to do more focus on financing. What I want to hear is more state banks. This is something that I can take back to the government. That's the only thing I want to ask, not anything else, is to work and provide financing to the end users, to our millions and millions of brothers and sisters who are out there, who need to earn a better living, who can save money so that kids, their girls can go and have a more education, they can have a better health care. So the real point is to have financing available through the state banks. This is something that is still lacking. NBFCs are charging 21, 22, 25% interest rates. I would hope that in the next year or two, and I am working, because of my background, with global funds to set up financing for vehicles. That is the biggest problem. But again, there is no problem that OSM and myself, I have a mission. You will see me out there on the front lines every day, and we'll find a solution. I was just talking to the MD of Quantum Flux, and we are going to find a major financing solution in the very near future for the vehicles in the state of Karnataka and many other states.
Have you already tied up with banks or anyone else?
We have tied up with multiple players, and we've signed up with Bank Equity, we've signed up with 1FT, we have signed up with Refin, we are working with the likes of Turno, we are working with a lot of major players. I would like more and more. One thing which is lacking, and I keep saying, none of the state banks yet have done a lot in this space, and time is now. Now, one of the concerns of financing is because people are concerned about the resale value of the vehicle. We are now with Rage Plus Rapid and Rage Plus Rapid Pro with Log9 battery, giving a 6-year warranty on the vehicle and 6-year warranty on the battery and a buyback of the battery in the first year. Nobody in this country, no one is giving that. We are working on swap, so there are multiple programs we're working on.
Now, when you say 6 months warranty on the
6 years.
6 years of
6 years warranty on the vehicle, 6-year warranty on the battery.
On the damages?
On the damages of the battery. If anything happens to the battery, within 6 years, you will be able to get a replacement.
I'm talking about the vehicle.
The vehicle, depending on, look, the normal wear and tear, obviously has to be responsible. But if it's the powertrain or the motor or some major strategic parts, if you have an accident, I'm not responsible for that. But if you have a problem in those main critical parts, so you've got to understand, the difference between an electrical vehicle and an IC vehicle is the parts are limited. The most important part is the battery, the powertrain, the motor, and the body. Those are what we will do. Now, if you have a problem with the wear tear on the brakes, and if you have a problem with the light that you hit somewhere, that's a different story. But the majority of the vehicle will be given, depending on different kinds of. This is for the log 9. For the others, it's a 3-year warranty on the battery and a 3-year warranty on the vehicle.
So when would M1K hitting index?
Very good. You've done your homework. I love that. Very few people. So now the 3.5 ton is testing right now all across on with all the big players, and the response. See, the one thing you've got to understand is, unfortunately, I'm not a 25-year-old startup, right? I'm an old guy trying to make sure that we have history. We want to make sure that we test the vehicle, make sure that the end users are giving me the feedback. The 1-ton truck is here, the 3.5 ton and the 1-ton truck, hopefully by next year, will be at the front line. The 1-ton truck is now testing, and you'll see them in Bangalore very soon.
So are you by any chance planning for affordable passengers?
We are focusing clearly, on cargo, but we did the passenger for Stream and Stream City. I'll announce you something today, which even you don't know. In the auto show in January, we are going to come up with India's first 3-wheeler passenger air-conditioned vehicle in this country, just for metro cities. We are coming up with another new product, which will show you on 3-wheeler passenger that is going to change. On the 4-wheeler passenger, I think at this moment we are working on a hydrogen car. In our Korean, we have R&D facilities in Korea, Thailand. We are building a R&D facility in Europe. And so we are working on a small car, but you're asking me too much. I've got to be careful because I can't be, the other press will get mad because you're taking a lot of information out of me here.
So one last question.
Yeah.
What is the overall global TAM of OSM?
Right, very good question. You need to leave me your card. You're a good man. I have to talk to you. You've done some homework. OSM is a global company. We are today, as I said, the only company that is exporting. I am already the first electric company in the UAE, where my trucks are already working. I am heading on Monday night to Riyadh, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where I think the future, I tell all of you to keep an eye on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, got a huge future. We are setting up major facilities in Africa. We have signed up a factory in Egypt. I'm going to build factories in multiple African countries. We are going to be in almost 20 countries there. We are in Vietnam. We are going to be in Philippines, Indonesia. We've talked to Quantum Flux about Malaysia. And we are going to be, again, in Latin America in January forward. So we have a major global plan on the 3-wheelers. You'll be surprised to hear, even in parts of Spain, France, in England, 3-wheelers are there. We are sending our 3-wheelers to United States in Disney and other parks, and the trucks are going to be a global program. So you'll see OSM global pretty much in every country. My goal is to beat CNN on every country, and hopefully this is what will be a change where Indian-made production is going to Europe, to going to Asia, to Africa and Latin America.
So these vehicles are already in the Indian market. They're already being running across, and the production started in North India, where it's much more higher. ज़्यादा temperature वहाँ पे ज़्यादा गर्मी होती है वहाँ पे, तो वहाँ पे already चल रहे हैं और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह कोई problem नहीं हुआ है वहाँ पे. So these are already well tested out products before coming in the market. User friendly, yes, is the same products what you have. In fact, it's much more easier to ride and drive these vehicles than your ICE engines. So in fact, even I have ridden them with comfort. There's no issue as such. So parts, as Mr. Uday said some time back, the parts are all being manufactured locally. Without that, you don't get a FAME subsidy. So the parts are manufactured locally, so it's very easily available. It does not have to be sourced from other countries. What we had for cars and even for 2-wheelers to a certain extent in the last 2 years when COVID hit. So we had imported a lot of parts from Malaysia, from China, which supplies were stopped and issues were there. So completely contrary to that, here we have the production happening locally. So the parts are available locally. In case of any issues as such, what we had the pandemic also, the parts are still moving. So the vehicles are still moving on the road, which is very critical for the last mile delivery.
So the price range, starting price and the lowest price. जो start हो रहा है, ये price range कहाँ से start होता है?
It starts around 3,25,000 approximately ex showroom and goes up to around 3,80,000 ex showroom. So these are for the starting range of products for cargo vehicles right now.
जिस तरह से महिंद्रा ये उनके कॉम्पिटिटर में कैसे सेल कर रहा है?
सर अभी competition तो रहेगा हर फील्ड में, competition रहना ही चाहिए. So we welcome competition. It keeps us aggressive and keep moving forward, keeps us alert also. So we are doing a pretty good job. So we just started this dealership So hopefully we are very confident of the product and its services. That's why we have taken it up, and we should be able to do well in the market. And the last 6 months, we see OSM has been number one across India. If you see the retail figures, it's been number one across India for many of the months.
सर OSM का कोई पार्टनर्स है या स्पॉन्सर्स है या एक इंडिविजुअल कंपनी है?
It is an individual company backed by Omega Group.
थैंक यू सर।
तो जयनगर 4T ब्लॉक में है हमारा ऑफिस क्वांटम फ्लेक्स के नाम से। हम OSM के अभी तक के साउथ कर्नाटका में एक लोते डीलर हैं। अभी जो भी आपको कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स चाहिए था वो आप डिस्क्रिप्शन में हमारा डाल दीजिएगा। तो हम मेरे से बात करें, मेरा नाम फैज़ है, मैं इधर का इंचार्ज मैनेजर हूँ सर।
सर लोग अगर लेना चाहते हैं तो क्या उनके लिए लोन ऑप्शन है या फाइनेंस है?
डेफिनेटली सर, विल बी मोर देन 95% आपको इधर लोन मिल जाएगा ऑन रोड प्राइस पे। अभी हमारा गाड़ी का विद कंटेनर है 4,40,000, तो इट विल बी 3,90,000 आपको ऑन रोड में लोन मिल जाएगा। आपको सिर्फ 45,000 to 50,000 डाउन पेमेंट देना पड़ेगा। वेरी इजी प्रोसेसिंग, और इसमें ज़्यादा सिविल भी मैटर भी नहीं करते सर। आप सिर्फ एक लाइसेंस, एक पासपोर्ट साइज फ़ोटो, एक 3-4 डॉक्यूमेंट लेके आ जाएंगे, आधार कार्ड, तो आपका लोन विदिन 1 वीक के अंदर हो जाएगा सर।
तो आपका ये ऑफिस जो है ये बैंगलोर में कहाँ पर?
सर एज ऑफ नो एक पहला ये हेड ऑफिस है। इनके बाद हम लोग थोड़े दिन में और ब्रांचेस करना है पूरे इंटायर कर्नाटका में, नॉट ओनली इन बैंगलोर, पैन कर्नाटका में हमारे ब्रांचेस आ जाएंगे।
हाँ, तो इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल जो है हमारी कार्गो रेंज में आती है L5 कैटेगरी। कंपनी का नाम है ओमेगा सिक्की मोबिलिटी। क्वांटम फ्लक्स जो ये नया डीलरशिप खुला है ये जयनगर में आता है 4T ब्लॉक में, बैंगलोर में। और कनेक्ट करने के लिए आपके पास क्वांटम फ्लक्स का ऑनलाइन पेजेस भी है, वेबसाइट भी है, और फैज़ भाई है जो यहाँ पे मैनेज करते हैं, तो फैज़ भाई को कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं और कस्टमर डायरेक्टली भी आ सकता है। तो हमारी गाड़ी का डिफरेंस ये है कि नॉर्मल डीज़ल गाड़ी में किलोमीटर अगर हम देखें, कैलकुलेशन करें, पर किलोमीटर अगर आप कुछ कैलकुलेट कर रहे हो तो पर किलोमीटर रनिंग कॉस्ट आता है डीज़ल पेट्रोल LPG में कुछ 5.5 से 6 रुपया। और वही अगर आप इलेक्ट्रिक में लेते हो तो इलेक्ट्रिक में आपको आएगा 70 से 80 पैसा पर किलोमीटर कमर्शियल के लिए। अगर आप घर के करंट से करोगे तो और भी कम होगा, पर यूनिट कुछ 5 रुपया है, तो उसके हिसाब से अगर देखा जाए तो कुछ 50-60 पैसे में हो जाता है।
गाड़ी कितने किलोमीटर तक माइलेज देती है?
सर इसमें अलग अलग मॉडल है। अगर आप स्वैपेबल ऑप्शन लोगे तो आपको 45 मिलेगी, और अगर लॉग 9 की जो रैपिड चार्जिंग वाली व्हीकल है उसमें आपको 60 और 75 की मिलेगी। एक और व्हीकल है 8.5, उसमें आपको 85 मिलेगी, और 10.8 जो कि हमारी सबसे बढ़िया बिकने वाली गाड़ी है उसमें आपको 110 किलोमीटर तक आराम से मिलेगी। और लोड मैक्सिमम लोड कैरिंग कैपेसिटी है 500 kgs।